So if you made it through all that racket, I salute you. My condolences. Express my gratitude. Now, the Electro-Harmonix Bass Mono Synth is the first synth pedal I've ever had that really gives you a keyboard synthesizer 80s arcade game sound without much effort, really. It's pretty awesome. I mean, you just turn the synth all the way up and the dry all the way down, and you can synth right out, and it really sounds like you're in an arcade game. It's also the cheapest Electro-Harmonix pedal I've had so far. This was 120 euro credits, list price on Tomante, but I got mine as B stock, and it was 100 even. I couldn't believe it. Electro-Harmonix is not one of the cheap brands, and their synth pedals, like the micro synth, that was 250. A lot of synth pedals. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there. Most of them are over 200. So I would definitely recommend this. It's just, I was kind of trying to theorize why this is B stock, because there's nothing, not a scratch on it. And I was thinking maybe this person thought they were going to be able to dive right in and just play normal bass stuff and have it just sound like an arcade game automatically. And it's like, for anybody who's never had a synth pedal before, like, you do have to tread lightly. There are a lot of triggering issues, you know, string slapping and all kinds of fret noise and stuff will set it off. And you can hear that a little bit in my video. There were some triggering issues, and some of them can be hilarious. You can get pitch shifting and stuff, but they're uncontrollable, and you can't reliably get the glitching out to be cool. But this actually doesn't glitch out that bad. It's just, it's way easier to get a sustain sound. Than a pulse sound. You know, when I started out, I just like set the synth to 10 and the dry, which is just your bass sound, to 0, because I was like, oh, why do I want to sound like a bass when I'm doing the synthesizer thing? I don't want it to sound like a real guitar. And it took me a little while to realize when the synth is on 10, it's only good for sustain, and you can't really do a staccato pulse thing. You gotta mix in the dry sound to start getting that to work, and then messing with the sense and control, and it's in certain effects just don't work well for staccato. But like, I do want to be able to do a thumping bass line with the synthesizer arcade game sound too. And as Jake Wartooth pointed out, hi, this really does sound like certain Nintendo games and stuff. And I'm not really trying to cover arcade game music. I've seen people who do that, pretty awesome guitar covers of arcade game music, but like, there are games from the 80s that I think are really have inspirational soundtracks. Write your favorite below in the comment if you can think of any. My top favorite is gotta be Rastan, you know, the barbarian fantasy game. The soundtrack, that guy should get a Medal of Honor. That was really inspirational, kind of totally mystical sounding and totally rocking. And I wish some of these composers of the that show up in the really long credits, if you beat the game, which nobody could do back in the coin-operated 80s, but anyway, those guys should all be recognized as like Bach and Beethoven composers, you know. And then Double Dragon, that soundtrack was sweet, completely iconic. Can't say enough good things about it. And some lesser-known games like Zybots, that had a really cool sound and score. And Magician Lord sounded pretty cool. Black Tiger. I mean, there were so many. But yeah, list your favorites below. And also, like, a lot of Nintendo games. I never had a Nintendo or a Sega. I was a C64 kid. Never had a console. But for the C64 games, Fist, The Legend Continues, which is this really kind of primitive side-scrolling martial arts game from, I don't know, 85 or 6. It was one of the first karate kicking side-scroller adventure games, and it had a really sweet soundtrack. They were really atmospheric sounding, like you're in the jungle, and you're in the temple, and the cave, and the castle, and they all have their own soundtracks. And then Usagi Yojimbo, like the rabbit warrior bounty hunter thing. That was a C64 game that really sounded sweet. Japanese theme, but also kind of rocking. And I thought those were really. And then Shadow of the Beast. That's the big one for the Amiga. I mean, that it still holds up today. That was absolutely mind blowing. So I'm down. I'm gonna actually be able to play these things, but I want to be able to do. This will make it real easy to give you the top line synth keyboard sound where it sustains forever. That's no problem to get with this without hardly even trying. But to get a staccato pulse sound, like you want the bass to be on the bottom line of your arcade game track, that takes a lot of fooling around. And I'm going to be working on that. If you want to follow me in the future, I'm going to be working on trying to get a better staccato bass sound, and also experimenting with trying this regular guitar, because I think it might be easier to control palm muting, slight palm mute, regular guitar, really careful picking, because less string mass. I'm actually thinking like the more oscillation potential going on, the harder this thing will be to control when you're trying to do something sensitive. But as these things go, this is actually not hard to control. I've had some that are way bitchier, and it's also not too expensive, so just get it. It's really cool. And you don't have to be a great bass player. In fact, the simpler you play, the better it tracks. So, yeah, you don't have the fancier you play, the more you have to mess around dialing it in for some perfect thing, and then just really being careful, painstaking and stuff. But really, this is a good one. So thanks for listening to me rave and rant and do a bunch of riffs, and enjoy your all-around carefree outro with the acid sound. Bye!
Thank you.